And a very good morning to everybody. Welcome back to Williams Creek in Australia. We are about halfway between Adelaide and Ayres Rock, and we're going to continue this little adventure in the Aerostar as promised. And it's not as hot this morning as it was whenever we did the last video here on this, which I think was a couple weeks ago. As you can see, that windsock is, we got a nice breeze, and temperature is just shy of 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So we don't have to wait until morning to continue on. That temperature is actually pretty good. We'll see a little bit of a slowdown in the climb rate, but it should be negligible. And also, the other thing that a lot of you will enjoy is that this video will not be nearly as long as the previous video getting up here from Adelaide. So anyway, let's just do a brief over. That doesn't sound right, does it? What I meant to say, let's just do a brief look at everything. Everything's off. Battery master, battery alternators off, and we'll set the HSI here in just a second. Everybody else off. All of the circuit breakers are in. Alright, I already pre-flighted the outside of the Aerostar. And we're going to go to 10,000 feet. See if we can get just a little bit better performance, but we'll see what happens again at 9,000. So let's go ahead and get this thing underway. I'll shut the door and just before starting the left engine. So here we go. Let's do this real quick. Let's see, the whiskey compass is saying, what do you all think? What's it saying? 214? Yeah. Let's go with 214. Let's just go with that. Alrighty. 21. Wait a minute. Yeah, let's just go with 214. Oops. Which is technically right about there. Alright, good to go with that. And let's briefly look up what our barometric pressure is. What is the barometric pressure? It is we're in YWMC, I believe. Alright, let's see what that is. YWMC. That is us. Alright, what is the altimeter? 1014, which is 2994. Alright, 2994. Can we get any closer? I want to be as precise as possible. 2994. That's gotta be as good as it gets. Let's compare that to the Aerostar That's not what I wanted. The Aerostar app is what I wanted. Here we go, 2988. That's interesting. Really? 2988. Well, if that's the case, it's going to be right about there. And we'll leave it at that. And the wind is alright. We'll be taking off to the southeast. East-southeast, that is. Alright, we'll do east-southeast. Alright, very good. Alright, now that everybody is set, when I say everybody, I mean the HSI and the altimeter. Let's get that right engine up and going. And remember, in starting the Aerostar, you do not select the starter with the mixture full rich. You leave the mixture lean. After you engage the starter, after you engage it, then you give, I'm sorry, let me rephrase. Then you incrementally give it mixture until it's all the way to rich. Alright? So, that being said, and again, this is a VFR flight, so that's why we don't have to deal with comm radios and things like that. Alright, main battery is on. Get the nav and beacon light on. I would like to turn on the Garmin GTN 750, but we'll leave it off because I don't want the battery to go out. Let's test the atmosphere panel. It's the one thing I forgot to check. And everybody's good. Alright. Right engine first. We're gonna go ahead and open up the for those of you that are in England and Australia, you might call this a punkalure, if my memory serves me right. That'll just allow air, or as we say here in North America, that is a vent. So that's the outdoor air in, which will feel good once we get up above 3,000 feet. It'll feel very, very good. So, anyway, let's do right engine first. And we listen for the fuel valve first. There it goes. Fuel boost on. We're gonna crack the throttles just a wee bit. Crack them open just a little bit. Right about there is where you want them. And then we engage the starter. Actually, before we do, let's just check the fuel flow real quick on the mixture. Let's look at our fuel flow gauge. This is what you do before you start, because you want to make sure that that there is positive fuel before you're going into the engine start sequence. Let's watch that fuel flow gauge, and that is what we want. Very good. All right. That is exactly what we want. Alright, let's go ahead and engage starter. Clear prop. Well, I guess, well. I don't think anybody could hear you if you're in the left seat. Alright. Here we go. Sounds good to me. Let's bump it up a little bit more on the RPM so it doesn't die on us. With this temperature, 78 degrees Fahrenheit, this shouldn't be a problem. Get up a little bit more. Alright, let's turn on the right alternator. And we'll go and turn on avionics. Autopilot. Now that we got the engine up and running, we don't have to worry about the engine dying on us. We're going to leave this door open, like I said, just before engine start on the left. Back when I was in flight training in the early 90s in the Piper Tomahawk, we did not close my door until we got out to the end of the runway. So, alright, destination is, double check that on something here, is Yankee Alpha Yankee Echo. Yankee Alpha Yankee Echo. That's it. And we're gonna go direct, which is fine with me. I don't believe, since I had the free version of the GTN 750, I don't believe it gives us any departure runways. Getting out of here. That's what I thought. That's alright. We just need an arrow taking us there. That's all we need. And that's what we're gonna get. Make sure it's over on the CDI. There we go. Over on the HSI on the left. And we're gonna spin the heading needle to align with the runway here. Wait a minute. Oh, my apologies. We're taking off our runway. 1, 2. That's about right. You always want your heading bug in the direction of the runway. And no, this runway does not have a taxiway, so we're going to do a back taxi. For those of you that have never seen a back taxi, you'll see what a back taxi is all about here very, very shortly. Alright. Transponder 1200 finds VFR. We turn on altitude reporting, which is what I would do. At least they would know where you are without having to request flight following. Although in the real world, I would probably, especially when you're out here in the middle of nowhere, beautiful though, no offense, I would absolutely want flight following if it was made available to me. Alright, we're ready for that left engine now. Oops. Sorry. My bad. My bad. We gotta close from up here and then close first. Here comes the door. Latched. Good to go. Alright. Pull that out. Yeah, 79 degrees in the cabin. Don't worry, we'll cool things off momentarily. Okay. There you go. I could at least hear that fuel valve go from closed to open. Should say closed to off to on. Alrighty. Left. Start. Slowly give it the juice. And there we have it. Good engine start. Well, I can tell you one thing, as soon as I get to Ayres Rock, This aircraft definitely needs it needs a bath. Look at that. Dirty. Alright. I do wish that the tug was not there, so we'll do a hard right turn to avoid a wing strike. Spin turn on the DME unit, even though we really don't use it. Let's see if it'll do RNAV once we get up into the air. It'll at least give us what our ground speed is. But then again, I'm utilizing the Garmin 750, so yeah. Alright, flaps, they need to be set to 20. And remember, the way the flaps work in the Aerostar, it isn't a preset like any other aircraft. You go neutral down and you wait for it to go to 20. Then you go, when it's at 20, then you go back to neutral. And then it stays at 20. So, anyway, blower and fan goes on. And we are on the left alternator. Alright. Let's go brakes off. And very, very slowly get out of here. Yeah, I was afraid of that. It's one thing that Microsoft definitely needs to fix. The ramp agents, when it's almost 80 degrees outside, they would not be wearing that kind of gear. Yeah, and they don't get out of the way either. So. Alright. There we go. Yep, I would dare say that this is the epitome of middle of nowhere. Like I said, it is beautiful. It really, really is. Alright. And if you look at the fuel gauges, you'll notice that we did not change any of the fuel levels. Confident that we can make it all the way to Ayres Rock. Alright. Look left and right for traffic, even though I think we know what the answer to that is. Right alternator light is on us because we're idling. There we go. We're going to do our run up real quick before we get underway here. Did not want to do it back at the ramp. Too many people. And I know there's nobody flying around here, so we're gonna go all the way to 1800 RPM. Alright, check the mags on the right engine first. Left only. Good. Both. Right only. Good. Back to both. Left. Left mag only. Good. Back to both. Right mag only. Good. Back to both. And we're good. Bring it back a little bit. And Williams traffic, Aerostar 463, Alpha, Papa, back to taxi, runway 12, straight out departure to the north. Aerostar 463 Alpha Papa Williams Creek traffic. Yeah, right. I know. I know we're not on advanced sim or anything. It's just old habits don't seem to go away. Alright. Did I say 2-1? Sorry. My bad, I meant 1-1. Alright. Alright. Right down the middle. And since due to the fact that the end of the runway is so short, and it is a little warm out there, we're gonna set taxi takeoff. Sorry, taxi. Let me say that all over again. We're gonna set takeoff thrust first, with the feet on the rudders, holding the brakes, and then we're gonna release. We don't want to overheat anything. It's looking good. Alright. Here we go. Take off, thrust. Right about there. And away we go. Drift 8 right about there. Yeah, the aircraft actually rotated on itself. That's impressive. That is impressive. Alright. Positive rate. Gear up. And flaps up. Yeah, I was anticipating for the nose to drop quicker than more than it did, but it really didn't. So we're gonna bring those RPMs back behind the red line. There we go. Alright. Now let's enter our left turn. Get going in the right direction here. Alright. And yeah, the aircraft, this particular aircraft, the Aerostar, Aerostar, absolutely top notch with regard to any other aircraft that I've flown in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. It simply handles like a real aircraft. It just does. I do not know how else to explain it, but it does. There's the airport down there. Pick up our course here in just a second. Having to trim down the aircraft wants to climb so badly. It wants to go this morning. That's for sure. Alright. Still climbing at a good rate. What's the temperature outside? Temperature out there is low 60s at the moment. let's take a look outside real quick. A little bumpy. There's the airport. Alright. Yeah, definitely wants to roll left. Just getting a feel for what it wants to do. Alright, let's get back on course. Come on. I know, it wants to go one away very, very badly. Yeah, I'm going to go and begin leaning out the mixture. Climb performance is way more than I thought it would be. Alright. It does the wind. The wind's aloft. It doesn't want us going to the northwest, let alone to the north. Here we go. All right. Now the course needle should be, it's gonna 301, that's what I thought. Second here, let's get the heading bug where we want it. And then we can go, and now we can go ahead and activate the autopilot here. It just doesn't want to stay where it needs to. So let's see if we can get some positive rate of climb here. Trim it out a little bit before activating the autopilot. Sorry about that. Alright, let's see what the autopilot wants to do. With regard to the climb rate, what does it want? That's the question. That's going to go in. Right, even more. Alright, we need to go pitch up. Temperature in the aircraft, whoa, 57 degrees. Yeah, I figured it would drop pretty quick. Let's get these things closed up. Yeah, the rudder pedals on this aircraft, they stick for some reason. I don't know why. Don't know why they do. Alright, and there is the intercept right there. And Ayres Rock, here we come. 8,500 at the moment. Excuse me. 8,500 feet at the moment. Let's go ahead and lean those mixtures back even more. greatly reducing our fuel flow. I mean, it's not even close. We get below, if we can get below 15 gallons an hour, it would be great if we could do it. Let's just see what it's like up at 10,000 feet. I typically level it off at 9,000, but let's just see what life is like up at 10. And if it's too slow, then we obviously won't do it. Okay, everybody looking good. And the temperature in the cabin is remaining at 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Celsius, 14 degrees. And let's see if we can level her off at 10 and just watch what the indicated airspeed does. Let's just see what it does here. It doesn't really want to intercept the course directly, and that is because wind. We're getting a lot of wind off the right side of the aircraft. There's 10,000. Altitude, hold on that. Let's see if we gain on the Garmin. I can see ground speed of 202, 200, meaning 202, 203, 204, 205. Wow, it's really going up there. 207, 208. Yeah, we are really beginning to move. I like that a lot. 10,000 feet, this feels awful good. Awful good. Alright, let's do our checklist for this aircraft. Cruising, let's see here. Let's see, manifold pressure. Peak EGT, lean for 25. Alright. Yeah, we're looking just fine. What we are gonna do something a little different. We're gonna make this go direct. Because at the moment we're not direct. So, what do we do? What we do is we simply make the destination airport direct. So that is a destination. We just want to go direct. Alright, I know what to do. I'll just hit the little button here. Yes. Direct. Well, that's what we want. Yankee, Alpha, Yankee, Echo. Yeah. Activate. There we go. Now we're on a true direct course directly to Ayres Airport. So course 301. Alrighty, we can do that. But I usually do that. What's this all about? Okay. Yeah, I apologize, everybody. I'm trying to remember where I dial in 3. I mean, right? I could. It just doesn't want to go direct. Alright, OBS. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's already there. 301. I'll try the CDI here. That's what I thought. Let's just do this. Let's simply go direct one more time. Huh. The temperature in here, 54. And let's see what the heat does, just a little bit. Give it a little bit of heat. I'm just trying to figure out if we're gonna actually get a nice straight direct course to our destination. It is really struggling to do it. Let's back over here. Let's bring those mixture levers back a little bit more. Our RPMs are unfazed, shall we say. The throttles are all the way open. Yeah, it just doesn't want to stay direct. Isn't that wild? It just doesn't want to do it. Huh. That is just really, really nuts. I mean, I'm tempted to move the needle manually. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Leave it alone. I just threw a wrench into that. Let's get it going. No, not that way. That way. Yes. Activate. Yeah, it's gotta be the wind. That's the only reason why it would be acting like this. It's trying its really, really, really hard to keep us on that course, but I just cannot. But I simply cannot hold the course, which I find awfully bizarre. Are the rotor pedals out of sync again? No. Very, very bizarre. Well, that's what I get for flying a Citation 10 often. And the 777 when I have to. Alright, looking at it again. Well, let's do this. Let's have an idea. Let's just make sure that we're pointed in the right direction. And the other thing that might be happening is setting a navigational fix for something that is over 300 nautical miles out that might have something to do with this. Might. Let's see how far out we can zoom this thing. So we can see the majority of Australia in the window. Yep, here we are. If you look south, just if you, let me zoom in for those of you on a mobile device. If you look directly south of the aircraft depicted on the Garmin 750, due south and a little bit to the east and south-southeast, that little bay that goes way up into Australia there, that is where Adelaide is. That's where we began this two-part journey. So it feels like you haven't gone really far when in all reality we have. So let's go back in just a wee bit. Alright, I mean it's showing like we're going in the right direction without a question. Let's see here. Oh man, let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? We've got distance 311 nautical miles. Yep. Bearing as well as 302. Estimate time en route 1 hour and 26 minutes. Like I said, we won't be doing it that for you all at home. You won't be having to watch this for 1 hour and 26 minutes because here in just a few minutes we'll quit recording. But we'll pick up recording in the flight just before we begin our descent into Ayres Rock. Hopefully we'll be able to see the rock from 10,000 feet. We'll just see it, and the plan is to go into Ayres Rock, orbit the rock itself, take a look at it, and maybe do 2 orbits. That'll come down to fuel, the amount of fuel at that time. We should have plenty of fuel to do 2 orbits around the rock, and then we'll go into the airport and land and call it a morning. But anyway, let's give you a look at what's going on outside real quick. Come back in, say a few more words, and then you will pick back up just before descending into Ayres Rock. So let's take a look outside. We do have some very interesting scenery coming up here, so let's check out what's going on outside. Alright. Some very unique scenery. Very unique landscape. And we're doing 260 knots on the ground, which very happy about. Very happy about that. Yeah, it's showing 1 hour and 22 minutes to go. Even though it's saying we're not quite on course, so that's not something that I'm going to be monitoring. But like I said, we will pick back up with all of you just before we begin to descend into Ayres Rock, because the other video I recorded the entire flight, and judging by the lack of views, you guys didn't like that, so, which is fine, totally get it, even though I made it so you could go through various chapters and you could go and visit whatever chapter you want. So we will pick up, like I said, we'll be picking things up back, there we go, now you can hear me better. We will be picking things back up just before we begin to descend. Alright? See you then. And welcome back, everyone. As promised, just before beginning our descent, we are back, and Ayres Rock is right there. There it is. So, as promised, Yankee Alpha, Yankee Echo is straight ahead. In fact, the runway is, we're looking right down the middle of the runway. And my puppy decided to come into the office. Hi, buddy. How you do? Hi, Abu. It's okay. I'm talking to people. Yeah, it's okay. 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 Wonderful black lab. Alright. Let's go check out Ayres Rock, and then we'll continue on to the airport, aka Uluru. I think I pronounced that right. And as you can see, our fuel state. Yeah, 1 second. He got scared. What is it, buddy? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, buddy. Shh. It's okay. It's okay. Sorry, everybody, for the interruption. What's up, Abu? What's up, buddy? What's up? Everything is okay. Everything is okay. There's no web camera yet, so you're not going on YouTube quite yet. Although the people would probably love to see you. Yeah. Okay. He was very curious about the headset. It's okay, Abu. Okay. Apologies for that. Alright, let's turn off the autopilot and go take a look at the rock. As we do, we'll begin our descent. making sure that the heater is off, because we're where we are going, we definitely do not need heat. Quite the opposite. Alright, let's take a look at the rock from this altitude. Look at that, everyone. Very, very impressive, if you ask me. Let's see what it looks like from the outside. Alright, let's come back on power. Not too much because of the altitude that we're at. We don't want to come back on the mantle too much yet. And we don't want to descend quite as much as we are right now. Let's keep an eye out for the rock, because that is why we came all this way. I think it's over 600 nautical miles from Adelaide, maybe 750. I don't remember. You'd have to go back and watch the other video plus this one to get the answer to that question. Alright, now what we're doing is transitioning from ground speed over to indicated airspeed. And where is the line? Pass it, that's what I thought. Pass it. Alright. Alright, now let's bring those power levers back. Push the props almost all the way forward. Pretty impressive. Very, very impressive. Alright. Now, as to the airport. Where are we here? Should be just around. Pardon me. It should be just our 11 o'clock. see if we can see it. There we go. That's a good view out the window here. A very good view. The cowling is really dirty. Alright. Let's go to heading mode, no longer GPSS mode, and get rid of the CDI. Tied up with that. Here we go. Alright. I was looking at the altimeter is already set for Ayres Rock Airport. Wind is 110. So we should probably circle around the airport. Let's do a left downwind and then come in that way. Going to guess that the temperature outside is a little on the warm side. What is it out there? 65? Really? Huh. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Alright. Let's look at the meter one more time. Just one more time. 110 at 8. Alright. 110 at 8. You got it. The altimeter QNH is 1011, but in inches, 2985 inches of mercury, which is what I've got the altimeter set at. Alright, come back on the RPMs just a little bit. And begin to bring that manifold pressure into the green. Alright. Aircraft. For those of you just now watching the video, this was the fastest piston. The fastest production piston aircraft in the world. It is just a racehorse. The high-speed wing and some very, very powerful engines. Yes, but I gotta hand it to A2A Simulations. They hit it out of the ballpark. This thing handles wonderfully, and I can say that because my stepfather, he used to fly the Aerostar before becoming a airline pilot. He flew the Aerostar in the Midwest, primarily in the state of Michigan. There's a rock way up behind us here. He flew the 700 series. This is the 600. He flew the 700. It had icing protection and all that. This aircraft, for those of you that don't know, this one by A2A Simulations, this particular Aerostar, because it's a 600, it does not have an anti-ice kit on board. The only thing it has is pitot heat and prop heat. The 700 that my stepdad flew, that one had boots on the wings. So it was known for, oh, there's runway already. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's slow it up. Flaps. Gear on the way. Alright, that drag is gonna get those props to go a little slower. There we go. There we go. Now, you gotta give it a whole lot of trim when you get the gear down. That's a very, very neat view. Look at that, looking right down the runway. And Ayres Rock is just right out the right-hand side of it. That is a very, very neat looking view, if you ask me. Alright, full flaps. Not that we really need them, but because the way the wings are configured, the way in which the wings are designed, the flaps, they almost make the nose drop. Alright. Coming in, on speed, on proper like that, looking good. Where the runway is blurry, I don't understand why. Huh. Don't know why. A little gust of wind there. Alright, just bleed off speed. There we go. Alright, sorry about that. There was a gust of wind that caught me off guard. And that's the dog. What's up, buddy? What's up? What's up? I had to land a plane. Alright. Alrighty. I have no idea why he... Well, I think I do have an idea as to why he barks, but... When a puppy doesn't have... He's still... Hang on one second. Hang on one second, everybody. Stay. My apologies. Would you like to say hi to everybody? Would you like to say hi? No? It's okay. It's okay. Dad is just making a YouTube video, buddy. That's all that's happening. That's all that's happening, buddy. Yeah. Everything's okay. Something spooked you. Sorry, buddy. Can I finish the video real quick? Pretty please? Can I do that? Is it okay if I do that? Can I do that? Thank you. Take that as a yes. Alright, everybody. My apologies. If you have a puppy, you know what I am dealing with. Flaps up. On the way up. Alright. Strobes and landing lights off. Props all the way forward. Open up the vents here. Let in some nice air, and we'll taxi into the FBO. Here we go. Alright. Well, as you can see, there's Ayres Rock in the distance to our 1 o'clock. Do an outside view here. Okay. Habu. Habu. Sit. Sit. Habu. Sit. Sit. You're gonna make me taxi the aircraft off the taxiway. Habu. Alright. So this way should be good to go. Yeah. Alright. I'm going to take it that as the fire department. It's just a big guess on my part. Boy, there's a lot of GA traffic parked here. Looks like a King Air. Says 404. What else we got here? A lot of rocks. Oh, God, there. I thought I saw a Skymaster. Alright. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the flight. Sorry for the interruption. But again, if you... yeah, there's a Skymaster right there. But if you have a puppy, especially a very, very loving black Labrador Retriever, you know what I'm dealing with. He's a wonderful, wonderful little guy, little companion. Very, very wonderful. Okay. Let's park right here. There we go. Looks about right. Yeah, I just looked at the weather. Yeah, the altimeter also just changed, though. What I was saying is the altimeter also just changed, so between checking the altimeter and landing, well, that explains the bumpy landing. Microsoft was bumping in the weather. As I was landing, so wind direction change and all that fun stuff. Alright, let's shut this thing down. 77. Okay, we'll shut it down here momentarily. Lights, beacon off. Alright. I'm gonna close everything up here real quick. And what I do off off, mags mixture. There we go. Two props are both steady. Mixture all the way off. Looking good. Everybody else off. Nav lights off. And we don't need to burn up the battery. Autopilot and avionics off. Auto trim, nav 1, nav 2, that remains where it is. And blower off. Alternators off, of course. Everything else off, 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 off. Closed. Battery off. That is everything. Alright. Open this thing up. And there we are, everybody. Welcome to Ayres Rock. Hope that it was a fun flight. A two-part series from Adelaide all the way up to Ayres Rock. Yeah, look at the leading edge of the stab and the horizontal and vertical stab. That is interesting how they model that. They do a very, very good job at that. Shock the other wheel. Well, again, I hope you got something out of it. The Aerostar by A2A Simulations, I highly recommend it. It is a phenomenal aircraft. Handling is top notch. The best handling aircraft in Sim 2024. And yeah, it just works. If you know how to work with the engines and the quirks that come along with all that, this is an aircraft that I would highly suggest looking into buying. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching. Hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button down below. And feel free to leave any comments. We try to answer all comments that come in. And we hope you enjoy the flight. And as always, take care until next time. And fly safe. Frequency changes approved. And again, fly safe.